Your Lambda has been dead for hours, but CloudWatch says everything is fine. No errors, no alarm, no page. The default TreatMissingData setting just masked a complete service outage. Here's exactly why. Welcome to TheCodeForge. Before we dig into that production issue, let's cover Amazon Web Services CloudWatch basics. CloudWatch is Amazon Web Services' native monitoring service. Metrics are the heartbeat numeric time series data from Elastic Compute Cloud, Lambda, or your own app. Alarms watch these metrics and trigger actions when thresholds are crossed. Logs are the autopsy, raw text output, centralized for querying with logs insights. Together, they form the observability backbone for most Amazon Web Services workloads. A metric is just a timestamp number with a name and a namespace. Elastic Compute Cloud sends CPU utilization every minute. Lambda sends duration and errors. You can also publish your own custom metrics. Think order count per minute. What makes metrics powerful is the dimension system, a key-value pair that narrows down which resource a metric belongs to. But be careful, dimensions like userId create separate billable metrics. Here's a bash script that publishes a custom business metric to CloudWatch. It simulates reading the number of orders processed in the last minute. The namespace acts like a folder. Use a consistent naming convention. The dimensions are low cardinality, environment and app name, not userId. A metric sitting in CloudWatch does nothing on its own. An alarm connects a metric to a response. You define a threshold, a comparison operator, and an evaluation period. Alarms can trigger simple notification service notifications, Elastic Compute Cloud actions, or auto-scaling. The DatapointsToAlarm setting is your best defense against alert fatigue. With evaluation periods equals 3 and DatapointsToAlarm equals 2, a single 1-minute spike won't wake you at 3 a.m. This CloudFormation template creates a CloudWatch alarm on a Lambda function. It monitors the errors metric, with a period of 5 minutes. It requires 2 out of 3 evaluation periods to breach the threshold of 5 errors before firing. Note that TreatMissingData is set to not breaching, because silence from a Lambda means no invocations, not errors. CloudWatch Logs is where your application output lives. Log groups are top-level containers per application, log streams are individual sources, and log events are the individual lines. The real power is CloudWatch Logs Insights, a query language that lets you search across gigabytes of logs in seconds. Metric filters scan incoming log lines for patterns and convert matches into CloudWatch metrics, perfect for continuous alerting. This script runs a Logs Insights query to find the top 10 slowest API endpoints in the last hour. It assumes your app logs JSON lines with fields like endpoint and duration ms. The query calculates average and max duration per endpoint, sorted by average descending. Logs Insights is perfect for ad hoc debugging during an incident. A CloudWatch dashboard is a customizable canvas where you pin metrics graphs, alarm states, and log query results. Good dashboard design follows the RED method: rate, errors, and duration at the top. Below, add saturation metrics like CPU and memory. The closed loop from metric to alarm to notification to dashboard to logs is the entire CloudWatch mental model. This is a CloudWatch dashboard definition for the checkout service. It includes a request rate graph and an error rate graph with an alarm threshold line. Deploy it with the put dashboard CLI command. The dashboard should fit on one screen. If you need more than 10 widgets, split into multiple dashboards. Metrics and logs don't magically appear. You need the CloudWatch Agent, a daemon installed on Elastic Compute Cloud or on-prem servers. It collects system-level metrics like memory and disk that Elastic Compute Cloud doesn't give you by default. It also pushes application logs. Without the agent, you're blind to OS-level metrics, and your logs sit on disks you can't query. This is the CloudWatch Agent configuration, JSON. It collects memory and disk metrics every 60 seconds and pushes application error logs to a log group. The agent picks up permissions from identity and access management. Test your config with the Amazon CloudWatch Agent CTL status command. This is the same issue we highlighted at the start. Here's exactly why that happened. The Lambda's event source mapping failed at 2 a.m. due to revoked DynamoDB stream permissions. The function wasn't invoked at all. CloudWatch stopped receiving any metric data points. TreatMissingData was left at the default missing, which means keep the alarm in its current state when no data arrives. The alarm was currently okay, so it stayed okay. No notification. The fix was straightforward. First, change the alarm's TreatMissingData to breaching, so missing data triggers alarm. Second, added a heartbeat metric. The Lambda publishes a custom metric every minute and an alarm on missing heartbeat pages immediately. Third, set a metric filter to count invocations and alarm on 0 for 10 minutes. Now silence always means failure. The default missing policy does not page on silence. It only transitions to alarm if the alarm was already in alarm state. For availability metrics like Lambda invocations or heartbeat, silence means the service is dead. Always set TreatMissingData to breaching for any alarm that monitors a critical health signal. A startup published custom metrics with userId dimension to track per customer API latencies. With 50,000 active customers, each generating 5 metrics per day, the CloudWatch bill hit $15,000 per month. Each unique combination of dimension values is a separate billable metric. Always use low cardinality dimensions like environment, region, or service name. A company had a CloudWatch alarm on elastic compute, cloud status check, failed with evaluation periods equals 1 and DatapointsToAlarm equals 1. Every time Elastic Compute Cloud performed routine maintenance, the status check would fail for 30 seconds. The alarm fired every day. Engineers started ignoring CloudWatch pages entirely. When a real outage happened, no one responded for 45 minutes. Use at least 3 evaluation periods and 2 data points to alarm. A team created a CloudWatch dashboard with a Logs Insights widget that ran every 60 seconds for the last 15 minutes of logs. The widget scanned 50 GB per execution. Daily cost, 50 GB times 0.005 times 1,440 executions, $360 day. Monthly, $10,800. Logs Insights is for manual debugging only. Never auto-refresh. Use metric filters for continuous monitoring. In early 2023, Amazon Web Services changed the default value of TreatMissingData from missing to not breaching for new alarms created via the Amazon Web Services Management Console. However, alarms created via CloudFormation or CLI still default to missing. Always explicitly set TreatMissingData in your infrastructure as code templates to avoid relying on defaults that may differ between creation methods. The article mentions heartbeat metrics, but does not show the alarm configuration. This snippet creates a CloudWatch alarm on a custom heartbeat metric that pages when the metric stops reporting, using TreatMissingData, breaching, to ensure silence triggers an alert. When using composite alarms, TreatMissingData is not inherited from child alarms. Each child alarm must have its own TreatMissingData setting. A common mistake is to set TreatMissingData only on the composite alarm, which does nothing. The child alarms will still use their default behavior, potentially masking a dead service. When CloudWatch isn't behaving as expected, run these commands. First, list metrics to see if data is being published. Then get metric statistics to check recent data points. Finally, describe the alarm to check the TreatMissingData setting. These commands help diagnose the 4 most common CloudWatch failure modes. Let's run through some common interview questions. What are the 3 alarm states? Okay, alarm, insufficient data. Insufficient data occurs when not enough data points have arrived. Treating it as okay is dangerous because a dead service also produces no data. How to avoid false alarms from momentary spikes. Set evaluation periods equals 3 and data points to alarm equals 2, so the alarm only fires if 2 of 3 consecutive windows breach the threshold. Metric filter versus logs insights. Metric filter runs continuously on every log line, converting patterns to metrics for alerting. Logs insights is an on-demand query for debugging. Never auto-refresh logs insights in dashboards. And a few frequently asked questions. What does CloudWatch cost? Basic Elastic Compute Cloud Lambda Relational Database Service metrics are free. Custom metrics 30 cents month each. Logs 50 cents GB ingested. Expect $5 30 month for small services. CloudWatch versus CloudTrail. CloudWatch monitors resource performance. CloudTrail records API calls for auditing, often used together. Can CloudWatch auto-heal? Yes, alarms can trigger elastic compute cloud actions, reboot, recover, auto-scaling, or Lambda functions for self-healing infrastructure. Let's recap the key takeaways. Metrics stream automatically from Amazon Web Services, but custom metrics cost money. Watch your dimensions. Use evaluation periods to avoid alert fatigue. Always set TreatMissingData to breaching for availability metrics. Logs Insights is for manual debugging only, never in auto-refreshing dashboards. And set log retention to avoid paying for logs you'll never read. Ready to go deeper? Up next, Amazon Web Services Bedrock explained, building GenAI apps without managing models, then Amazon Web Services Snowball, data migration, edge computing, and physical data transport. Find them all at TheCodeForge.io. Thanks for watching. The full article and code examples are covered in detail at TheCodeForge.io.